Go, Omar.
No, go ahead.
I'm not mad at it. I think that there's a couple of things here. I think number one, you know, everybody likes to pile. When I say everybody, the media, ESPN, they like to pile on the Lakers,
Bleacher Report,
because the Lakers, that's clickbait. You know, that's entertaining. And so they really tried to make this whole coaching hire more of a fiasco than what it really was. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about negotiations, whether you agree with it or not. Their plan clearly is that they want a coach that is going to coincide with LeBron's contract. Yep. And that's what they came into. And I have no problem with having a direction. That was their vision. So it didn't work out with Tyronn Lue. They never offered Monty Williams. So then they come to Frank Vogel, who, coincidentally, I think is a really good coach. And I think he is the type of coach that we need. It's been a long time since we've actually had a nerd, an X's and O's guy as the coach. I think the Jason Kidd thing, Kev, I agree with you, and I think it's right. I think that, they couldn't come out with Jason Kidd out the box. There's too much there. But I think the thing that people are missing, because they're going for the sexier angle, which is that Jason Kidd is the coach in waiting and is going to be over his shoulder, is that Jason Kidd, you got to ask yourself, why did he take the assistant coach job? He took it because he recognized that he needs to rehabilitate his image. So if you're trying to rehabilitate your image, the last thing that you're going to do is try to derail or usurp the head coach. Could it be the extra on site with the Giannis angle? Possibly. I'd never thought of that until you said it. That's interesting. I do believe there's still some things that he can teach Lonzo Ball. I think Lonzo's. I think a big thing for Lonzo is just physical development. Yep. But he can definitely learn from Jason Kidd, and I think I like it. I actually like it. One of the things that they had a problem with, the organization had a problem with, was they didn't necessarily care for the assistant staff of Luke Walton, so they wanted to have more influence there. Jason Kidd interviewed well. He was willing to take an assistant coach job, so then that became part of the negotiation. I'm not mad at any of it at all, actually.
I think Rob Pelinka sees himself in Jason Kidd. They both some fucking backstabbers. So it's real, recognize real, and you looking familiar. So I kind of need you, because I can come to you and talk to you what's really going on. So I think that I really do believe that's part of it.
Little finger for real.
Yes. I also do believe that they believe he could help further Lonzo's career. I think they believe he can work with him.
He was instrumental in helping Giannis early on.
I believe that is a big reason why they want him here. I also believe that they realize LeBron needs a coach that he can go rock off to who's not the head coach. Lou was that. And he hesitates. He goes to coaches
because he's passive aggressive.
The coaches he goes to talk to, the ones he becomes friends with, are all ex-players. Vogel's not an ex-player. He's gonna go and gravitate to Kidd.
We went to Fizdale.
So they feel like that is somebody who LeBron can be a confidant.
And again, so both of you guys, both of those points, the Giannis point, that point, which as soon as you said it, I was like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And again, to me, that speaks to organizational intelligence.
But listen, that's one of the reasons why Lou wouldn't take it, because Lou was that guy for what's his name? Who was the head coach before Lou?
Black.
Lou was Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
And Lou ended up with the job, so he's like, nah, I'm not going to that same situation. That's not happening.
That makes a lot of sense.
But it makes sense for LeBron.
Right. Yeah. So with LeBron, there's always some sort of drama or dysfunction. So Omar, I want to stay with you. That it appears to be.
You try to say Omar dysfunctional?
Drama and dysfunction.
Drama and dysfunctional. Stay with you, Omar.
Hit a little certain type of way.
This is he's in his bag right here. So there's obviously, regardless of how you spin it, there is some dysfunction because there's a lot of uncertainty.
There's uncertainty. That doesn't mean there's dysfunction. There's a difference. They're not talking. People are filling in the blanks.
Yes.
That is part of their organizational belief.
Talk
right
about
now.
it. Yes.
It's about shutting up and showing people what we're going to do.
So
y'all Magic talk too fucking much.
Okay.
So now the game is not talk.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
So because This is why I couldn't wait for this, Kev. So,
Yo,
is
I'm
that,
looking at Kevin's face too. Kevin like, whoa.
so Omar, is that a reflection of the structure of how they have everything? Like, is that par for the course? Is that what you guys want?
What we want is to win. What we
Will
want,
you win like this?
Bars.
Well, we wasn't winning the other way. So I don't know. I know I'm fine with Rob Pelinka getting a shot to do this. I believe in him as a talent evaluator. I do. I don't. And they keep saying a GM who does an agent who doesn't have any what's the word I'm looking for? He doesn't have any history doing the GM job, but. There are way we don't know how fast a learner he is. We don't know if he's going to be good at it. He got the ball now, so all we can do is see how he handles it.
Kevin.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, from the outside looking in, I think this goes to not only personal but professional things, is that performance reflects leadership, right? I mean, Magic said that there were too many cooks in the kitchen, and if we're going to go with what he said, whether he should have said it or he shouldn't have, right is right? The truth matters no matter who it comes from. I think that in his comments about Jeannie Buss, it sounds like she wanted to be surrounded by people who she trusts and liked more than she wanted to be around people who were actually good at their job. I mean, as much as Michael Jordan and Steve Kerr beef, he knew he was kicking that ball out to him when he was open. He might have punched him in practice, but he was good at his job. And if we're talking about winning is what's most important, sometimes being surrounded by your friends and people you like isn't necessarily the end goal. And of course, you guys are closer to the situation than me, but if, like Magic said, if the lines in terms of whose roles and responsibilities are blurred, then we need to make it very clear this is your job and be good at your job. Don't worry about how this person goes about that, because successful organizations don't operate that way. I don't care if it's a family, if it's a business, it's all out in the open. And if you're comfortable with who you are and what you do, you don't have to talk around anybody's back. You produce in your field, and the Lakers haven't done that in the last few years.
So before we move to the next question, Les, really quick, there's been this vibe out there that Rob Pelinka has a dirty name when it comes to dealing with some of the other GMs when he was an agent. Do you think that's really going to be harmful when it comes time to get big free agents?
As far as free agents, no. As far as trades, yes. I mean, when you go from one side, you're negotiating with somebody and you're playing hardball with whoever's contract it is, and you're going against GMs, and they know you as being a hard ass, shrewd, just going after for your client though.
Yeah.
And it's against the GM, that rubs them the wrong way. So as far as that concerned, yeah, probably so. But as far as free agents, I don't think so, because he's coming from a place where he had players that they're going to know that he's going to look out for them. He's going to work for them. Even at the GM position, he's going to treat it like he was an agent. Hey, if it's whoever, KD, he's going to come in and say, we're doing this. We're laying this out for you. This is how we're laying it out. It's not, hopefully it's not like Kupchak used to do and say, we're going to make you a movie star out here. It's what we're going to do for you on the court. How can we help you succeed? And that's, from what I've heard, that's how he got his clients. This is our game plan for you. This is how we're going to make you a superstar. And that's what
That
I think
message
helps.
resonates.
It helps with free agents,
Yep.
not with GMs.
Okay. Kenyon, last week, before these misfortunate events, you had
God is still smiling on the Lakers.
last week he was. So you lucked into the fourth pick.
Yep.
So let's talk about the fourth pick. What do you guys do with that?
One of two things. Obviously, one is put it in a package.
Send it somewhere.
Send me somewhere. But when you look at the draft and you look at our needs, we need two things. We need outside shooting for sure, or we need a big man. The shooting guards that can shoot. So first of all, DeAndre Hunter out of Virginia, right? He has out of Virginia, good shooting percentage, more of a front court player. He has a small sample size though in terms of threes. The real issue though is that we have a ton of 3/4 guys. He's not a fit. So then you look at the shooting guards. The top two shooting guards are Jared Culver out of Texas Tech. Jared Culver is not really a 3-point shooter.
No.
Also, from the tournament, looking at him in the tournament, he also is not a great ball handler. Like, he's not explosive. He's a solid player.
He looks more athletic than he is.
He looks more athletic than what he
exactly.
really is. And then the other top shooting guard in the draft is Cam Reddish, who we know is a bust waiting to happen.
10 man.
Coming out of high school, the rap was he's super talented, but he lacks heart. So there's no perimeter options there at 4. But what there is, Mr. Jackson Hayes out of Texas, and I kept looking at him, and it was almost like, man, I hope we don't screw this up. So if we don't trade, put that 4th pick in a package, go get Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes right now at 19 is a rim runner and he's a defender, but he shoots 74% in free throws. He has a jump shot. He has tremendous upside already off the break. Shaka Smart, who is coached Mohamed Bamba, he coached Jared Allen, said that the most talented big man of those 3 is Jackson Hayes. So I would hope that if we keep the 4th pick, that we go ahead and that we invest in our big future, because now we've got a big at center, we've got our future center, we've got a collection of wing players, and we have a point guard. We've got our future squad there.
Okay. Omar, do you agree with that assessment? Is there other players that you just like, fuck that, let's get out of this pick?
No, I think we're going to have to pick. I don't think people aren't talking about it, but it's going to be hard for us to trade, to package. It depends on the player somebody wants, but people aren't talking about Brandon Ingram's injury. A year to the day of Chris Bosh's original clot, the second clot happened. There are going to be teams that are wary about Brandon Ingram this year because they got a year to see if it reoccurs.
Right.
So you take away that as a trade bait.
And you got to keep him and put something else in there where you guys might not want to keep him either.
Exactly. So I think we end up keeping the pick. And I would defer to Les and Kenyon on talent level of how
Hey,
players.
Hey,
What'd you
Ken,
say?
don't overlook Bruno Fernando either. He's a big who can stretch the floor. I've seen enough of him play to be confident that he can fill that role you guys are looking for.
I would rather pick somebody at 4 and then buy back into, trade back into the bottom of the first half or buy back in the second round to pick him. But I do like Bruno Fernando as well. I agree.
Along with Jackson at 4, I was thinking Darius Garland. We could put him at point and move Lonzo off the ball, or flip flop him to where Lonzo is guarding the point or guarding the 2 guard, whichever is the more explosive player. And then we have someone out there who can shoot. He can actually shoot, and he's a playmaker also. So it's not like putting in Rondo, where we know he's a playmaker, not a shooter. It's someone who can mesh with everybody. You can give the ball to LeBron, and he can kick it out to Garland. Whereas if you just have Lonzo out there and maybe Josh Hart, you never know what you're going to get.
All right, so before we get out of this segment, Les, stay with you. What's the long-term prognosis for the Lakers organization?
Championships.
100%.
I'm trying to figure out what the question
I
was.
know, that's what I'm saying. I don't even know what.
I think
You
that
mean
was
like
a
how
setup.
do you get there?
Yeah, huh?
No, I'm asking Devin. You mean like how do you get there? Because I
didn't come
think
up
that's
with this
everybody's
question.
goal. But
I mean, with what everything's going on right now, the position,
Go ahead.
with everything that's going on right now, there you go, and your prospects, where you stand, all that coaching.
Right. If you put you put your hands over your
Thank you, Les.
You're welcome. Put your hands over your ears, and here are the facts. We got $35 million in cap space. We got 4 young, talented pieces. We have the number 4 pick in the draft, and we have a top 3 player in the NBA, and we have a legitimate coach, right? There isn't a team in basketball outside of maybe Golden State and whoever makes it to the finals that wouldn't want to be in our position.
yeah, well, I think the inverse of that obviously would be like what's your identity? What type of basketball do you want to play?
Frank
What
Vogel
are you
answered that.
offering? And what are you offering free agents? Because global warming, it's going to be sunny and 75 everywhere. Can you guys offer people that they can't get anywhere else?